America Meditating Radio Show, we collect wisdom, inspire each other, and empower hearts 24/7. Hi, I'm Sister-Jenna. Join me and guests on Blog Talk Radio as we amplify stories that compel us to be more for ourselves and everyone else around us.
The entire world watched.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
And humanity saw that the sky was not the limit. Achievement. Pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
Blaylock Dialysis Center is a convenient state-of-the-art dialysis center in the Houston area, run by Dr. Panakin Patel. Relax in a comfortable environment while receiving quality care. Serving adults 18 to geriatrics, we are here to help you. Call 713-463-6611 for more information or visit us at our website at www.blaylockdialysiscenter.com. Blaylock Dialysis Center, where helping you get well is our priority.
Hi, I'm Devon Franklin, co-author of the book The Wait, author of the book Produced by Faith, and producer of the film Miracles from Heaven. Just want to give a shout out to Sister Jenna and American Meditating Radio. I've been on the station before, I've been on the program. It's awesome, and meditation is such a powerful way to tap into all that God has for us and to find peace, love, and joy, and health in our lives. We have an exclusive screening of my new film, Miracles from Heaven, starring Jennifer Garner and Queen Latifah, and this is a film that is based on a true story. We've been screening it all around the country, and people have been blown away by the power of this inspirational journey of a family coping with the illness of the middle daughter, and a miracle shows up when they need it the most. This movie will be in theaters March 16th all around the country. Come and see it with your whole family. I promise you, you will not be disappointed.
Just close my eyes again. Climbed aboard the Dreamweaver train. Trying to take away my worries of today and leave tomorrow behind. Believe
Welcome, everyone, and Om Shanti. This is America Meditating Radio, and I'm your host, Sister Jenna. That was Dreamweaver by Gary White, an all-time favorite, one of those songs that we call back in the days, you know. And we really appreciated Devon Franklin's shout-out for the AM radio, and if you haven't seen his latest production, Miracles in Heaven, you should. It's very heartwarming and one of those positive films that really just bring the family together and makes us think at a higher level. You know, I love it when folks are in positions of power, positions of influence, and they use that position of influence to amplify divinity, goodness on the planet, to be of the better self, the godlike self. And I know that Devon's doing that. He has a new book out called The Weight. I have to tell you, I couldn't put it down. It was such a revealing, thoughtful, natural expression of just how he and his relationship with Megan Good has evolved into a very pure sort of a loving way of being, and I think that it lends support to maybe many people who are looking to become more worthy and to amplify their awareness of worthiness, because I'm telling you, we just can't be selling our souls so short for temporary fixes and trying to deceive ourselves that we're happy by just being okay with the little that we find ourselves trapped into and thinking that it's really big. I think what's really big is when your self-esteem is just revealed in the way that you speak and the way that you dress and the way that you relate to others. And speaking about self-esteem, I'm going to have my very dear friend back on the air, Dr. Amelia-Kemp, and she's got something really incredible coming up. It's all about lifting up our self-esteem. So stay tuned as we get Amelia on the line for us to have a good heart-to-heart conversation. And before we do, let us do what we do best here on the AM show, and that is to go into the zone of our inner being and our inner sense of self, you know, this feeling now in this national climate, especially global, of course, just a feeling to need to feel safe, you know. And as many of you know, we've launched a new campaign called Meditate the Vote, which is to engage us in conversations that can help us to be better people and to be safe for ourselves. So stay tuned to hear more about Meditate the Vote, or just visit us on Facebook and Twitter. Just Google Meditate the Vote, just to get an idea of what we're doing. But what we're definitely not doing is supporting a specific candidate, nor are we supporting a specific party. We're supporting the power of the human soul. So if you're interested in that, please go and visit Meditate the Vote. So let's take a few moments of silence and go into our zone of meditation, and let's feel safe from the Just a Minute Meditation CD.
Feeling safe. Taking just a minute. Like a tortoise, I move into the safety of my inner world and experience a world free from distractions. I feel secure, protected, knowing that I am true to myself. I experience my true value, independent of the influence of others. I now gently step back into my surroundings.
Welcome back. When we gently bring ourselves back into our surroundings by feeling safe within our own being, then it doesn't matter whatever's going on around us, we can manage. The America Meditating Radio is very happy to welcome Dr. Amelia-Kemp, who is the president and co-founder of Ur2.Global and has been a psychotherapist for 20 years. Amelia is the author of 3 books, including From Psychotherapy to Sacretherapy, and hosts a radio show on the Unity FM. Throughout her career, Dr. Kemp has been struck by how many people feel less than good about themselves at their core, And today she joins us to discuss Ur2.Global and the need to uplift the global self-esteem of humanity. Amelia, welcome to America Meditating.
Oh, thank you so much, Sister Jenna. It's wonderful to be back on the show, sweetheart. Om Shanti to you.
Om Shanti to you. Well, you know, I was privileged to be one of the first to hear the song that you made, and we're going to be playing it as well in the show. And I know how important it was for you, because this is where we need to come from. We need to start to be so authentic that despite how others are going to feel about what we're doing, it's doing something in our healing process. Is that one of the reasons why Ur2.Global was inspired?
Oh, absolutely. You know, Ur2.Global, even though we use the acronym, just the letter U and the letter R and the letter 2, naturally we're saying YOU, Ur2.Global, because it was created by the Psychotherapy Institute to uplift the self-esteem of humanity, and we're utilizing and showcasing the performing arts, the visual arts, and the literary arts to illustrate each soul's value and worth, which you were just talking about. And so Ur2 believes that we're all creators made in the likeness of the Creator and have within us a sacred and unique creativity that's the key to mastering this art of self-esteem, because it's just waiting to be discovered and unleashed. And so many, many people, though, for the 20 years I've been a therapist, nothing has stood out more than how lowly people feel at their core self with or without a mental or emotional diagnosis. They just don't feel that they are good enough. And I think it's because we live in such a celebrity-crazed society where so many believe that only the rich and famous are valued. So our site wants the world to know that, no, you are too. It's 6 billion of us out here on the planet, and when the media keeps promoting the same old 100 or so in any given field, it often sends a message to the others that they're not as good and that those 100 or so are the only ones who know something, which is absurd since we're all creators of the Creator and have something unique to offer the world. And so that's why Ur2.Global offers this platform now for all of the world's people to showcase their talents via the arts and humanities, where they also will receive awards for just their willingness to share their creations on a global scale for the entire world to see.
Well, you know, even just when you say it, you are too, I just feel something every time you said it during your conversation. I was like, yeah. And I don't know if you even knew that or if you strategized that, but it's almost like in a conversation you're confirming to the person, but you are too very good. And it just hit me when you were talking, like, wow.
And I'm so
glad. I am too what?
Yeah, because even when I was the director of mental health for the school board, and even in private practice these last 15 years, I've been a therapist 20 years, but in the school board, especially with our youth, if I would say you are too, I would have to add on the words for real, because they look at me like, yeah, right, I am too. And I'm like, yes, you are too, for real. So they believe it a little more when I added the word for real to it. And so that's why we have one of our youth projects is for the youth that we call Ur2 for real, for them to help fortify this message. But yes, most people don't think they are, Sister Jenna. They don't think they are too. And so my song and this site is to fortify that, to bring us back to our core self, you know, of who we truly, truly are at the core, because we believe that each person is important, because the word I am good enough, I means is an abbreviation for I am, meaning that I am that I am. And so I am filled with the value and worth bestowed upon me by the Creator. So my value and worth is not tied to anything that I've ever done or will ever do, but instead my value comes because of my most sacred self, which is connected to the Creator. And so this is the word we want people to understand. Where does self-esteem come from? The self is I am. This is who we are. We're using this physical body temple to radiate our spirit soul, which is the eternal part of us.
So for those of us who can't understand that languaging, you and I can, okay, I get that. But when you say I am, some folks are like, I don't know what that is. I don't know what you mean. I am what? So when we look at uplifting self-esteem, especially on the global level, OMB, my OMB means, oh my Baba. When I look at the presidential candidates that are actually representing what our state of consciousness is, and I'm not talking about America, I'm talking about the Philippines, I'm talking about Brazil, I'm talking about India, I'm talking about the whole world.
Everywhere.
That, we're looking at, there's a lot going on in the human soul, in the human spirit. So when you talk about uplifting self-esteem on a global level, right, what is healthy self-esteem, Dr. Kemp?
Well, this is what I mean by that I amness, of knowing who we are at our core. And so most spiritual traditions worldwide have the creator with different names. So it doesn't matter what we call this source, this creative source of our being, whether it's God, whether it's Baba, whether it's Allah. We know what we're talking about. But when the source is portrayed in Hollywood and in the stories, it says that I am, that I am, that I am, that I'm this creative, non-physical entity that permeates all living things, including physical beings, human beings. And so our worth and value is connected to that. It's like this big ocean is God, and we're a cup of that. We put our little cup in the ocean, and everything that ocean has, all of its molecules, are in that cup now. And so we're a smaller version of the ocean, but we have all of that in our DNA. And so we're built with this wonderful worth and value because of whose we are and what we're attached to, not the things that we necessarily do in the physical that we came forth as creators to do. And so healthy self-esteem is understanding that my value is not, the job I do or what my boss says I does or what my spouse says I does or what my parent says I does or what my child say that I am. It's my own I amness. I am that I am, and that I know that I have value and worth regardless of the things that are outside of me.
But what if my part in this scheme called drama is a person that has been very offensive, very critical, very judgmental? What if my part is that I can't seem to hold back my anger, right? So how do I find my worthiness even if I find myself being in that sort of a personality expression? I mean, how do you get me back there? Because I can't help myself. I just can't stand you, or I'm yelling at you, or, girl, what are you wearing today? Whatever it might be that seems to not reveal the divinity that God designed us in the first place. How do you get someone like me back if I'm in that state to a healthy self-esteem, Dr. Kemp?
Well, we start by reminding them that everything begins with a thought. And so those things that you just described are a person's thoughts and their interpretations, the meaning that they're attaching to what they're observing or experiencing based on their conditioning and beliefs. And this is why I loved Oprah's opening statement when we were doing the belief team, which is we're born into belief. And so these beliefs that people accumulate and integrate within their soul because of what they've been called, sometimes name-calling and things like that, this made them feel badly about themselves. They internalized it because they believed it, and it became a belief. And so we have to help them unlearn that whatever a person has said or done to them has nothing to do with their value and worth, that's just that person's perception depending on where they are vibrating. There's degrees of alignment with our understanding and of our fullness with the Creator. And so when a person is attacking someone or name-calling someone, they're out of alignment with who they are. And so when people are hurting, they tend to hurt others. But if people not take that on and realize, just look at the people in their lives that may seem abusive or out of alignment, and just recognize where they are and sort of have this shield, this spirit shield around them. I always see a white line or light around me that nothing can get in. I'm not letting that in because I understand that it's outside of me, that my core self, my spirit self, is never affected by that. Nothing can touch me. that sense, and just forgive them and have compassion that maybe they're just having a bad day, a bad moment, bad whatever has happened that yanked them from their sense of well-being, but I don't have to allow that to infiltrate my core. And so anger is just an emotion, and our emotions only come first we think, then we feel, and then we act. And so anger, when we act out that angry emotion, it's an indicator of where we are in alignment, because I can't get angry unless the meaning I attach to whatever's happening was a thought that was not in alignment either with what the true manifestation is, because God is about peace and peace of mind, and we can, despite our outer circumstances, whether it's war, whether it's some alcoholic in the house, whether it's, any addictive things going on around us, whether it's the environment, whether it's just legislating, whether you don't like the presidents or the ones that's coming or the ones that's been, none of that has to penetrate your core when you know who you truly are, and just get back to that very quickly by telling yourself that those things do not determine my value and worth. I do. It's what I say. It's what I believe about myself, not what someone else believes about me. They can call me a name, but just because they called it didn't make it true. It just means that that's their opinion in their unaligned moment, because they don't really mean it. They're only saying it because they don't have the vision at that moment to see you clearly either, because they're out of alignment. So it's all like popcorn. It's that law of attraction thing, that like attracts like. I don't love myself, so I'm attracting someone who also doesn't love their self. And it's all like popcorn now, because we both are not going to have a wonderful interaction because we're both out of alignment.
Right.
And so,
I love what you're saying. Because I think that's where I think you're onto something, where the arts can become a vehicle to promote self-esteem. And what I'd like to do is to actually play your theme song from your project, which is called I'm Good Enough. Okay, I'm going to play that for everyone to hear, and I want us to talk more about it, because I think the means or the vehicle of using the arts as a part of healing is very timely, Amelia. So let us just play your latest song, I'm Good Enough.
Okay, fantastic.
I said I'm good.
Now, welcome back, everyone. Wasn't that pure and sweet? I remember when I first heard that song, I called and be like, oh, my God, you did your soul song, your life song before I did. I loved it. And I remembered when you sent us the link, I think I must have ordered, 2 or 3 copies. I don't remember, but I downloaded it immediately, and I said to Antonia, this is how we support each other when we're doing something good. Tell me a little bit about I'm Good Enough and how that song emerged from you.
Well, I'm Good Enough ties back into what we've been talking about already in terms of just my understanding that I means I am, and the fact that I was and believe all other soul-filled beings who come forth are of value and worth. And so knowing that it wasn't tied to anything other than my connection to God and the Creator, whatever we want to call that, I wanted so much to give the world something that could reinforce that with them with a music video to dramatize each verse, because we have so many different roles we play in life, whether it's worker, whether it's friend, whether it's child, whether it's parent, and so forth and so on. And so I wanted to really help them to understand that it doesn't matter what we've come forth into the physical to portray, the roles we portray, that our worth is inherent within us. And so wanting so much for people to understand that was important to me, because even, especially as an author, and when my 3rd book came out and really started getting on the lecture circuit and stuff, I noticed so much how people were even more celebrity crazed than I even imagined. And I realized that sometimes it was, even to stand on stage with some of the more popular souls who people know their name more often, I just saw how there was a difference in how people were treated. And I loved Marianne Williamson's statement years ago when she talked about it's not until the world or some media person says, hey, look at this one, y'all. This one now deserves our attention. But you were emanating that light force and that light source for decades before anyone knew, more than likely. But because the media spotlights this one now, oftentimes people get caught up in that, and so they start thinking that, until the media names me as this, that, or the other, that I'm nothing. And I saw that so inherent, it was profuse. And in 20 years, even whether I've treated doctors or I've treated people who were sports figures making millions of dollars, I still saw this same inherent lowly of who they really are. It's almost like people walking around with the secret. If people know who I really am or what I really did 5 years ago, they won't like me. They won't accept me. They'll judge me. And I say, no, what levels the playing field is that we've all done things we're not proud of. We've all done things that have injured others, and we've all been injured. So that levels the playing field right there. And that we can step to our power and release that and forgive ourselves. You know, people are basically good, and they feel so horrible when they injure others, too, you know, and then they start taking that on forever. And I want them to know that you can forgive yourself, that this God that I believe in is unconditional. You know, there's no hoops to jump through. There's just this ever-ready, always pulsating, available, unconditional love that's yours forever.
Well, let's talk about then the project that you're doing, right? Because you're looking for musicians and other artists to get on this journey with you. And so what ages of musicians and other artists is your organization targeting and seeking?
It's all ages, all cultures, all races. The site is being translated into the world's languages, starting with Spanish, French, Italian, and Creole, and will emanate beyond that. But everyone is invited to participate and send in their music, their art, their drama, their home videos. The only criteria is that it has to be about the upliftment of self-esteem. As long as it's in that category, it's accepted. And so we even, in addition to the daily entries that people can make, we have something called Fun Fridays, where the first Friday is specifically for youth to feature theirs from 2nd grade to 12th grade, and that's where we call that one the UR2 for Real Youth Project that I was talking about, since For Real seemed to bring it home more. And then the second Friday is Unlock Spirit for those whose self-esteem has been diminished due to living in locked facilities, whether it's a hospital, nursing home, or prison. And so we are taking those submissions from them for second Fridays. And then on third Fridays, it's about the body temple, because so many people's self-esteem is diminished because they're worried about what they look like or the weight they have. And so we have holistic physicians from around the world that are joining in to support in building self-esteem through giving suggestions and alternative holistic information for the body temple. And then on fourth Friday, it's called Chapter 2, It's Not Too Late, for women who are 45 and up. We were doing 50 and up, but I got calls from people who were in their 40s who thought it was too late, too. And they said, can you reduce the age? I have something I want to say, and I'm like, well, sure. So we reduced it to 45 because sometimes people got busy. They were raising their families, trying to make a living, and left their arts and their creative, sacred gifts that they wanted to give the world. And we want them to know it's not too late. And because for me to just get my creative work out there through my music, I've been singing other people's music for years and had written over 100 songs that I just didn't get around to producing, and to finally be able to get to it was such a joy. So I wanted to honor others who also, to let them know it's not too late, it's never too late, and that they can join it in on it too. So yes, we're taking that from everyone, just asking them to submit their arts, and they will get an award, a UR2 reward, because we want to acknowledge that their gift was unique and that we want to honor that they shared it with the world. So it's an automatic reward. There's no competition there.
And where do they submit their work?
They would go to our website at Ur2.Global, and again, that's the letter U, the letter R, the number 2.Global, not .com, but .global, and it's a submission form. If they click projects, the site's pretty clear. You click projects, and then it's a submission link there, and you just fill out the submission link, and you send your work to us through the link or through Dropbox or through Bandcamp or through Vimeo or YouTube, and we will upload it. You know, it takes about a week or two for it to be uploaded, and then they'll see it on the site. They'll get a notification letting them know that we've received it, and one of our volunteers will send them a notification of when it's showing. And so far, it's coming wonderful. I mean, we just started this April 15th, and we already have over 400,000 impressions of it. So the word, I think, is resonating with humanity. People want to feel equal to everyone else. They want to know that they matter.
Mm-hmm. That's
you know, we
I'm
do
so glad to hear that.
much. Yes.
I'm so glad to hear that. Well, I know that UR2's Global is a humanitarian effort, and you mentioned that the theme song is being used as a fundraiser, you know, to help with marketing and translation of the site. How might someone interested in contributing more go about donating funds or their time?
Oh, thank you for asking that. Yes, we would really appreciate it if people would purchase the song, because with so many impressions, you would think that people were buying the song. Because it's available free and streaming is out there with music these days, so many people feel everything's free. We would like them to, after they listen to it, if they could click on and pay the $2 for the song, we would really appreciate it. But in that process, it states or more, and we just thank everyone who has purchased it, and those who have actually purchased it for more has just made our cup runneth over. So they can do it through that way, or they can, and it's tax deductible because we're not non-profit organization, and so, or they can send us an email to ur2.gmail and let us know how they would like to contribute for that. And if and time, volunteers, and donations are also important. We're looking for people who could also help to translate the site, because our current linguist speaks 7 languages, but of course there are hundreds and hundreds of languages worldwide. So anyone who's retired and just doesn't have anything to do and would like to help us translate the site into their language, we honor that. We you know, we're all in this thing together, and we would appreciate that. So that's the process.
Well, you know, Dr. Kemp, this just seems like such a beautiful divine gift, something that's really being sent from above through you as the catalyst, and I think you're bringing many of us on board with Ur2.Global. And I just love the whole energy behind it, Amelia, really. Please let us know whatever we can do to keep contributing more to it. I know that our conversation is a part of it, but I would love for the American Meditating to be able to play a more expansive part, because I know that you're coming from a good place. Thank you so much for this conversation. Thank you for Ur2.Global. And before I let you go, what's your favorite life quote now that you're living by, and leave us with some sort of a real direct website or something where people can get a hold of Ur2.Global community.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's been an honor to be back today, and we love having you as one of our global liaisons because of the beautiful work you do, Sister Jenna, in the world. And, just your voice always soothes me, so it's always an honor to be in your presence at any time. And so my favorite quote, I think, is still the same as I said last time by Oprah, that was to live our best life now, but right now, because I read somewhere by an unknown author that I love, that he or she says, we only have this minute. 60 seconds is in it. How shall we spend it? For eternity is in it. I just love that because that sums out our now, our right now moment. And so anyone wanting to submit their creative arts or to join our global board of liaisons worldwide, please contact us at Ur2.Global, or you can send us an email also through Ur2.Global@gmail.com. It's been a true pleasure. Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you so much, and all the very best. You are too global. Bye, sweetie. Take good care. All the best.
All right. Take care now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So I'm sure that you could feel the passion and the compassion and the empathy that was coming through Dr. Kemp's purity of being of service to humanity. So really, I would love to invite our listeners to really participate in Ur2.Global.com. As we end our shows, no one can take away your happiness unless you give them permission. And we are here to love each other the same. So let's get on board with that. And so I just want to encourage all of you, just go to Dr. Kemp's website, Ur2.Global, and find out more information how you can participate and contribute. I even downloaded the song myself. Even though I got a free copy, it was just natural for me to want to support that. I'm just letting you know as an idea that, hey, sometimes you just think it's already happening. But when we actually step in and participate, it does help. And that's where I keep telling, folks, sometimes we just hear it, see it, but do something as well. So I'm looking forward to hearing all of you really amplify the story here. Thank you so much for joining us today, my friends. We're going to end today's show with You by Lucinda Drayton, and we're wishing you all the very best. Bye-bye.